Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So, we still need to talk about prepping and things that we can do. So, I got out one of my survival books, went into some ways that we could communicate, but then I also found a very interesting article. So, I wanted to talk about comms in how we can, what we should do, how we can do it, and will they be there? We all keep, hey, what's up, Army vet? Remaining remnant, good morning. Alley cat, good morning. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. I hope you got that lover. Well, okay. Anyway, y'all, I want to talk about this topic. I think it's important with everything that's coming out that, that we are. If you've noticed, the verbiage on YouTube has changed to when it's going to happen. It's when it's going to happen, not if it's going to happen. And I think that's important to take into accountability. Good morning, Mama Freddie. Good morning, Nunya. I think it's important that we take this into accountability because everyone has been changing the verbiage. If you missed it over on OTWP Report, I put out a very interesting thing about the Chinese, and we all know that they're already in our own borders. So I want to talk about this because I think that when it really boils down to it, there's it when it topples, or if there's a major disaster, which I think we're set up for. How many of you in the chat feel we're set up for a major disaster, a major catastrophic, apocalyptic type event that will shake, rattle, and roll the United States? I really do. So we need to think about post apocalyptic communications, because once the power grid fails, we are going to be in a whirl of crap. You're going to be concerned about maybe your mom or your wife or your husband or maybe your kids that are off to college. And so I think it's really important because the telephone lines will go down, the cell phone towers will go down, the internet will be down, and the internet alone will cause a lot of chaos and confusion, and especially in the younger generations that don't remember before we had internet. I think they'll be just absolutely freaked out of their mind when they can't play their game for 8 hours a day. But we won't have a way to check on our families, and I think, or connect with emergency services, or even check the television to see what's happening. So when you think about all those things, your radio stations may be offline as well. But I think that when we think about all these things, I think it's really important to say, okay, what can we do? I hope that each and every one of you has one of the easiest ways to communicate, which is walkie talkies. Most walkie talkies, especially if you get good ones, you will have a long range of walkie talkies, at least to communicate with your family. Because, for example, remaining remnant may have to go out and get supplies while other people in her house are staying in to protect their perimeter. So she wants a way to be able to talk to everyone that's in the property. And I think that those things are really important too, is to be able to communicate. Walkie talkies are short range, but ham radios. Dragonflies wants us to. She's full of jokes this morning. She said, "Take the old way, 2 cans and a string." She was talking about this. I said, "I can see it now, wrapped through the trees." And how do you get that can from one person to the other? Just saying. But there's a lot of radio sets, walkie talkies especially, are sold with three instead of two. So you'll have your base, and then you'll have two. When my aunt Gigi, who lived in Alaska, communicated a lot of times when she got snowed in the wintertime, is she did have a very, very good ham radio, and she had a military base radio that sat on a shortwave that sat on her desk, and then she was able to communicate with people in town. But she was so far out in the woods. I mean, I need to try to find her pictures of her place. She used to write me the most interesting letters during the winter, seeing polar bears up on her porch and stuff like that. I mean, she had to shoe track in, I think it was 3, 4 miles just to get to her car, and that she'd leave parked along the side of the road. So it was really interesting. Her life was really interesting. She was a tough, rugged woman. She worked on the salmon boats in Alaska. But I think that also, um, one thing that we need to think about is AM radios. most AM stations will stay up. They will stay on air. And also, a lot of people, I think, dismiss their cell phones. And there's still a chance that a lot of cell phones now with the EMP, probably not. They'll probably get wiped out. But if it was a power grid failure that they attacked us on, most cell towers have backup power in case of power outages. So the biggest thing would be, do you have a solar pack or a solar generator to recharge those phones up? And I would use my cell phone as long as I possibly can. We have an app on our phone. Well, we have two. We have one that's called Life 360, and Life 360 actually tracks people in your family. So you can actually put a tracker on them in case of an emergency. You would know where, at least where they disappeared. We use Life 360 because it's just me and Dragonflies, and it's a way for us to keep track that the other person's okay. And I think that that's really important. We also use another app called Voxer, and Voxer is a walkie-talkie through our phones. So I don't know if those apps would stay up. It really depends on what kind of hit we get, right? But I think that, it's still important to use your cell phone first, and then when you can't access your cell phone, is to go to your step 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? There's actually 6 different ones I want to talk about, and I want to talk about a couple off the wall ones. That's awesome, Patriot No Jab, that you just ordered a solar generator. We are looking at a bigger solar generator, because we want to be able to power. I told Dragonflies, with everything that happens, right? Anything that happens, if this country goes completely black, what would be the most important thing to us to keep electricity in? And me personally, it would be to save our refrigerator, to make sure that we have power to our refrigerator. We can go without lighting. We have oil lamps, we have candles, we have flashlights, we have, we all have natural sun. We have solar lights inside the cabin now and outside of the cabin. So lighting, I'm not worried about. But what I am concerned about is food. I don't want to see a whole refrigerator of food go to crap. I mean, why do we prep? We prep so that we have things for the future. We prep so that we're not out there in the masses running around going, oh, I need this, I need that. We definitely don't want to do that, right? Dragonflies is coming up with some really, she must be in one of those moods today. It's Valentine's. She said a bullhorn. So you take a bullhorn and you blow, Dragonflies. A lot of people have, a lot of people have communication works on tier system during a catastrophe. First responders get first, then premium max, and so on down the list. Exactly. The other thing, a lot of people talk about sap phones. I was going to purchase a sap phone. They're a little pricey, and then on top of it, they have. Um, I don't know how well a sat phone will work, because we also know that the Chinese and other countries already have things in in the environment to take down our satellites. So I think that if we have a blackout, that I think that we're going to have a power grid failure, that will be purposely done, and then it will knock out comms all across the country, and maybe, a blackout worldwide would really shake the masses, wouldn't it? Just saying. But sat phones are still in the sky. And if the disaster you're dealing with is restricted to the ground, then a sat phone would continue to work. So that's something to think about. Um, they work good, but controlled like all communication. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Then, yeah, I think that a sat phone is a lot of money to take a risk on. I would rather see a different way. Yeah, and I think that much tested. I think that that's a good way. Welcome to the chat. I think that's a good thing. We want to build a root cellar, but I want the root cellar inside the cabin where we go down some stairs, and it's right there, so that we don't have to go out in case of a nuclear situation. Right? I think that a sat phone would be a good way, um, but I think also there's some other options. One, everybody should have an emergency radio. I've shown it before. Dragonflies, you want to hand me the little solar crank? I really fell in love with this radio. Um, it is solar. It has its own solar panel. It's cranked You can operate it off batteries. You can charge your cell phone. You can. It has a flashlight on it. It has an alarm on it. And we bought two different ones. And thank you, dragonflies. Oh, she's not awake yet. So I'm really impressed with this one, um, because it has the solar right there on the top. You see it right there on the top, but it also has your flashlight. It also has the connectors on the back, and I'm impressed with this because of the durability of it. So you got two different kinds of connectors there. It also has an auto light, so you could actually set this up as a perimeter light, and that way, if somebody's coming, that back of that turns into a light. So then you have two different flashlights, and you have a emergency light on the top and the bottom, and your main light in the middle. But the other one, this one was a little more. This one is a shoot. What brand is it? It says it somewhere on it. It's a Dior. Von Dior. It has a big V on the bottom corner. Von Dior right there. Um, this one has a lot more features. It also has an alarm up here on the top. So I'm really impressed with this one, and the weight of it is compared to the other one we got. I think this one was like $40. Good morning, Elaine. The other thing is it has this hand crank on the side, right? So if you're out of batteries, and that's one thing we all need to think about too, is that, batteries are going to stay good for so long. And we do have a small battery charger to charge those batteries. We have a vape charger to charge Dragonfly's vape batteries, and that's adjustable as well. I don't know how many different kinds of batteries we could put in that, but I think that having some hand crank items is a really, yeah, and it is, and I like it, RR, because it's just it's so much more durable than the other ones. Um, right on the front of it too, right here, that orange button right there is an SOS button. So that's another thing. I think that having some solar stuff, we're hoping, that it doesn't go completely dark, but I think solar stuff is really important. Emergency radios. I also have an old timey small transistor radio, because at least hopefully you can get some AM stations. Also, you could be able to charge some of them up. But I think batteries, will, especially if it's for an extended period of time, if it's only what they're predicting, right? I'm not going to say I believe it, but what they're predicting, what they're telling us, if they're telling us the truth, I doubt, uh, is about 10 days of pitch black with no comms, with no internet, no TV, none of that, and no lights. Um, and we're going to have a special over at OTWP report this week about that as well, because they're always saying 90%. I stumbled upon something and I want to talk about it. We have to remember that good morning, she's a wildflower. Many of the AM frequencies will still function in your local area. So, and the emergency broadcast system should also work on your FM stations from what the predictions are, right? Crank radios are probably one of the best options because it's not going to use up your batteries that you may need for something else, like maybe interior lighting or something like that. I think a few solar things adding. Hi, Tina Ladybug. I think it's really important, though, to do that. One thing that I've been looking for, and I'm hoping to find it this month because I think time is of the essence right now, is a CB radio. I CB radios have been around forever, right? They've been around forever. And a CB radio will allow you to connect with law enforcement, emergency services, as well as people in your city or around your community, which I think is really important. You want to be able to have some type of communications with the outside world. Hey, Mama Freddie. I think I said hello to you. Hi, Mama Freddie. I think it's really important to have some kind of communications, because otherwise you're going to feel like a sitting duck and you're going to be like, what's happening? Where's it happening? Has a dirty bomb went off? Has a nuclear situation happened? And anything you can do to build up layers of comms is important, not only for extended periods, which I'm going to talk like long distance, like the CB radios, the crank radios, but we're going to talk about some off the wall things too. ham radio. We do have a ham radio. Um, I think that because of the maker of the ham radio, it concerns me. Unless you can find the old ham radios, it does concern me with the ham radios. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree with you. I think that it is. You will want that, but I think also, honestly, Rick, is most people. Look at how many of us go from a live stream to a video to whatever. We're going to want some communications with the outside world. I'm trying to talk down to earth, realistic prepping, because we can say that we'll be comfortable with that. Many people won't. Many people will not be comfortable with that, and it's really up to each and every one of us to look at our own situations and decide. But me personally, I want to kind of know what is going on a little bit. It doesn't mean I'm gonna stay on the radio all day and all night. I think that if you are with completely without communications at all, I think the majority of people, even that are setting on this channel, I think sometimes that we have too much of an attitude of I'm Billy Badass, right? And I'm not picking or everybody has to check themselves on what they want to be or what they want to do or how they want to do it, right? Not what they want to be, because I don't want you to be furries, okay? But like, what do you want to do for your own situation? Me personally, because of where we live, I want a little bit of know-how. I want a little bit of know-how. I want a little bit of what's happening. What's happening in Missouri? What's happening across the country? Has there been a dirty bomb? I at least want to get a little piece of information, and then I can bunker down for a while. I understand where you're coming from. I think cell phones will be a great tracking device, and we all know that. But that's just in my opinion. Good morning, Miss Needle. Good morning, Country Prepper. Um, yeah, yeah, and I agree with you, Nunya. Like where we're at, we have problems now with internet. One thing that we discovered that we had no idea really, and we discovered it this last couple months, is that we have live TV, and we have about every channel you can imagine for free, which is nice because I can check Reuters news, I can watch Onan news, I can watch military programs, all kinds of stuff, including sports events. But I think that when it really boils down to comms, it is going to be one of those situations that we're all going to be a little rattled when we don't have any outside communication with the world. um, each one of us has to decide what to do. I've said it before. What's good for me is not good for you. Prepping is not cookie cutter. Like, do this or you're going to die. Prepping is according to where you live, what kind of what you want for your family, and some of us may need more water than others. Some of us may have a lake or a river or stream near us, while others don't. So that's one thing I think is really important. Is I really dislike when somebody says you have to do it this way or you're going to perish. No, each one of our situations, each one of our prepping journeys is totally different. Ham radios are good. Ham radios are very good. Uh, you know, it would be most people's go-to source for communication, because the other thing is you can key in on ham radios, and we have one. You can key in on that ham radio and listen. You don't have to talk. You don't have to set off where you're at. But I think cell phones will definitely say where you're at. A dear friend of mine said what you should do with your cell phone when the shit breaks loose is put it on a train going the opposite way you where you're at. And I kind of agree with that. I know too much about cell phones and backdoors to cell phones. And so that's one thing that is really important, is that these cell phones, we're carrying around our trackers, we're carrying around our digital ID. All they got to do is change the name a little bit or be able to turn it off, and there you go. um, One thing I want to talk about too is something that's a little bit different, right? The range. Oh, the one thing I want to talk about is the range of ham radios is really going to depend on a repeater, the antenna, the power of the transmitter, And there is a great article on the range of ham radios. I'm going to give you that. They say that you'll still need a license. I know a lot of people are like, I'm not going to do that, right? I'm not going to get a license. I'm just going to do whatever. You don't have to have a license to listen. They're asking you to have a license if you're going to actually use the ham radio. The class isn't very much, and it doesn't take very long. It's a short class, and it is a test that you have to pass. But it's there's some good info in there. Hello, Mimi. So you can go to hamradioschool.com, and the hamradioschool.com will tell you how to set up your ham radio the right way. So, the big question is, how far can I talk with a handheld radio? And they go into depth about all these things. So it would be a really good resource for everybody to go to hamradioschool.com and just gather information and figure out what's good in your area, what's good for you. Us being out here in the forest, you know, I've always had the curiosity of how far can we actually talk. We tested some walkie talkies. They sucked. They sucked. They could not go through the trees, over the trees, down through the hills and the gullies and the hollers and all that. They couldn't do it, and so they were really bad. Um, so right now, I sold those, and I'm looking for an upgraded walkie-talkie set that's more military, because the military ones are good for flat or whatever. Yeah, I agree with you, Nunya. It's important to learn now and to take some steps, even if you can only take baby steps. But go to hamradioschool.com if you want a lot more information. You also can take the exam prep there. There's quizzes and exams. There's all kinds of cool stuff on there that you can learn a lot about ham radios. And I think a lot of people don't understand ham radios, and I think it's really, really important to at least know the basis of a ham radio. Because I'm just going to say, for instance, you're out and about, you're wherever, and someone has perished, and they have a ham radio. You better believe that you're going to want that. You are going to want that ham radio. You're going to want it, and you're going to take it, and then you're going to be like, how do I use it? They are the controls on them, they're not that hard. It's just that they're different. They're just different. And so it's really important to learn the basics of ham radio. I want to say that to each and every one of you. Take the time to do that, right? It will save you a lot of frustration down the road and give you a lot of know-how. I want to see if I can do this now. There's a special thing that's supposed to be coming out on our channel, and I'm not sure if it's here yet or not. Nope. I'm not sure why it's not here yet. Let me try it a different way here. I don't know where it's supposed to be. Hold on. No, I don't know why it's not there. They're supposed to be rolling out a new thing, and I don't see it yet. So the other thing I want to talk about is comms in this aspect. Okay, um, always remember that any distress signal of three is distress. So three taps on a window, three taps on a tree, three puffs of smoke in the air, three clicks of your mic, three. Three is a distress signal. And it's really important to learn some of those signals so that you know. So always remember, any signal, if somebody repeats it three times to you, and they may not be able to talk, so they may click their walkie three times, that is a distress signal. So that's something that's really, really important with the SSB signal side band. Thank you, Missouri Outdoors. Nice to see you. So, three columns of smoke, three whistle blows, three puffs of fire, of smoke going up in the air, three gunshots, three flashes of light. Think about, name one in the chat, y'all. Anybody name one that I didn't name? Three what? Three what would make you think, three, this is an emergency? I learned a lot of this from the Navy. She's a wildflower. I also want to say that I was a signalman in the Navy. I directed aircraft. And one thing that you can learn is some basic hand signals like this. That means stop. We used to do two. So we'd be directing people in, and two together would be stop. But if you could only get one out, and I'm talking bad situation, bad situation. You're out, you have to bug out. You get separated running. And as you're running, there's other people out there, but yet you see your husband, your wife, your kids, and you tell them, and they see you. Silence will be a big help. And by doing this, it means everybody, shh, quiet, stop, don't move. It could also be don't move because of danger. Don't move because there's military around. Don't move because of whatever. But to learn some of those hand signals, one thing that we always did is this was the signal. Two arms out, bringing him in. Two arms out, bringing him in. It was come on, come forward. To the left or to the right, or slow it down, slow it down. Two hands going down is slow down, slow down. So it would be really important to learn some of those basic hand signals, because when we controlled the runway, when we controlled the landing, the flight deck, right? It was on an island, so it wasn't really a flight deck. It it was the airfield, right? We controlled the whole airfield, from the building to the machinery to the ramp vac to the NC8 to all these things, to hot and cold uh, fueling, to the fire pit. We controlled all of that, and then the only thing that was out there was us and the air traffic controllers, the AC tower. So it was really important that at all times we maintained and controlled that area. So it's very important, if you get separated, that you control your family, that you control your platoon, that you control your mag. And by learning hand signals, it would be really important to do that, right? It would be really, really important to do that. Um, One thing that you can do is fire signals. Fire signals, but if they're going to give away your location to everybody. Now, in a distress situation, say a helicopter's coming in to get you, say that, like in Colorado in the Rocky Mountains, a lot of times you'll hear people have fallen or have gotten disoriented or have lost their group. And so what do? Is they use smoke signals. That's the only time, honestly, me personally, I would use fire or smoke signals, however you want to look at it, because that is going to draw a lot of freaking attention to yourself, and probably in a real SHTF, a post-apocalyptic meltdown of society, you're not going to want to draw a lot of attention to yourself. You're going to keep it on that, let's be quiet. Um, a lot of people actually torch trees and use the trees because they make excellent fire signals. Again, I personally wouldn't do that. It is out of one of the military training manuals, but I wouldn't do that. Not unless I'm waiting for a helicopter to rescue me. A mirror would be a great way, a great great way to communicate. Excuse me. I don't know. The other thing is ground to air signals. So that would only be in a search and rescue situation. But it would be important, right? Is to be able to know some of those ground to air signals. I think that knowing a few of them would be of really, really importance. So you take logs, tree limbs, whatever, and you lay them out in certain shapes. Um, One of the biggest ones is an X. An X means you are unable to move on. So if they see you from the air and there's an X on the ground, they're going to know that you're in a really bad situation. Um, Also, another one would probably be, if you need medical supplies or assistance, it's just two sticks or two logs on the ground by each other, right? Mirrors are definitely Huga. A mirror would definitely work. But also, I want you to think about this. Lasers and mirrors are also going to give away your location to anybody that catches it. There's a wonderful movie out about that. So that is called a single-sided reflector, a mirror, and that's something you could use, but I would be very cautious in doing it because you're going to alert everybody. I think another one is who knows what this is. Let me see if I can do it. Hold on, I can't hear it. Hold on. Who knows what that is? Hold on. Who knows what that is? That's right. It's Morse code. I would learn a little basic Morse code, um, like SOS, which is this. Listen closely. I should have recorded this, but hold on. Listen. Morse code is that's Morse code. So it's three shorts, three long, three shorts. That's probably the most important one is SOS in Morse code, and that would be a really good thing to learn. Um, I could actually do a class on it or a video on it showing some of the most important ones and also showing the hand signals. I think learning a little Morse code doesn't hurt anybody. You don't have to have the machine that you sit there and tap, 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 tap. You can do it on anything. You know, I'm going to be honest, I've watched a lot of prison flicks and war flicks. They'll do it on a window, you know? It's just like that. And to teach your family that would be really important. It would be really important to teach them just a little bit of Morse code, not a lot. I think body signals are really important. If one thing that we used to use is your arm straight up in the air. Okay, I can't do it with the back screen. Let me see. Hold on. So if you put your arms straight up in the air, just straight up, right? That is pick us up. That's pick us up. Um, if you need to bring them down and to let them know that it's safe for them to land, it's both of your arms out in front of you and slowly bring them to the ground. That is that you can land here. It's safe. Um, there's a lot. If you wave one hand to an air rescue up and wave it back and forth, that's all is well. So they'll know that you're okay. That they're not going to rescue you. They're going to go on to someone else. Um, there's a lot. If you need medical assistance, or if somebody needs medical assistance, I can't do that one right now. If somebody needs medical assistance, you lay on the ground, literally lay on the ground, and put your arms up above your head. So you're just laying straight out with your arms up. Um, there's a lot of them that we learned in the Navy. I had to refresh myself and look back. I think that also flares could be a good thing for some off the wall comms. But I will say this about flares once again is that flares are going to draw attention to you. So in a real meltdown of society, do you want to do you want a lot of attention? I would say not. There's a great book out with mountain rescue codes, body signals, Morse code. It has a little bit of everything, and it is the SAS survival book. It's written by John Wiserman, and that's a really good book to have. I think I gave one away here on the channel a while ago, but I think that some of these things that people don't think about is flares. Flares can be used. Okay, I'm gonna say this. Flares can be used in more than one way. All right, flares can be used to signal someone, but flares can be used for something else too. Um, huh? Yeah, protection is a good way to put it. Protection. So you could use a flare to protect yourself, and so honestly, I would definitely have a flare in my vehicle. Just saying. Um, Let me see. Is there any more that I want to talk about? I think I talked about most of them. Um, I did talk about most of them. Now you could do information signals, which is more of a bushcrafting way. It's more of a bushcrafting technique. It's using stones, twigs, grass, fence, uh, anything that you can leave as a marker for people. I think it's really important that each one of us knows some of them, and I hope that this live stream today has helped you a little bit to come up with some ideas on your own. And oh, okay. That would be a good one too, Huga, is to know a little bit of sign language, right? Right? Definitely. To learn a little bit of sign language is important. Also, maybe to learn some languages for the word help in other languages like Spanish, English, German, whatever, Korean, Chinese, you know, or don't hurt me, right? Or I come in peace, right? There could be some of those things that could be handy, but mostly I wanted to talk about signaling today and how important it is that you have some comms set up, because I think as we're watching the verbiage change on YouTube, that we should all take into consideration that it's going to happen. It's definitely going to happen. I surrenders. Yeah, yes, that could be a good one too, Lady Casca. I surrender. They just wave your white flag, right? Just wave your white flag. That would be a good start. Hold on 1 minute, folks. I definitely need a refresher, and I need a refresher, and I need to reset the light. Um, I think that when we're talking about comms, though, is that as we're watching the verbiage change in the United States from not if it's going to happen, but when it's going to happen, I would say that the time is of the essence. I would say that the time is short to get these preps in line. I have two major things. One, that in comms that I wanted to, there's lots of things in my prepping list, but in comms, there's two things. One is getting a CB radio, hooking it up with the longest antenna that I possibly can get. But then you have another situation too, is that long antenna is going to let people know what you got, right? So you got to think about how you're going to do these things and do them in a good way, so that people don't that you're not sticking out like a sore thumb. I mean, Gray Man, there's no more time. I don't think there's more time that we go, oh, okay, maybe I'm going to learn about Gray Man, or maybe I'm going to implement Gray Man in my life. I think that we all need to have Gray Man in our life. We need to already be implementing that in our shopping, in paying bills, in stuffing away cash, in our attire, in our vehicles. There's so many things that I could go into about implementing the Gray Man. You do not anymore want to stick out like a sore thumb. You don't want to stick out that you're going on a $500 prepper haul. You don't want to stick out. It's one thing. I know me and Dragonflies, we put ourselves out there a lot about these things, but I have two things. I have a lot of faith, and I have peace of mind that I'm hoping that we help one more person, or five more people, or 15 more people to realize the things that are happening, right? And I think that that's like super important that we keep on doing these things. I want to touch. I want to people to know. I want as many people as we can to get the message out to them and to be able to help them. Um, Running around saying that you're a prepper and telling people in your neighborhood that you're prepping is a terrible idea. Um, Me and Dragonflies were literally talking about this. My brother has a huge problem with us prepping first aid and food. He's like, you guys are greedy. And I'm like, greedy? And he's like, you don't need that much food. You don't need this much stuff. And I'm like, you don't know what I'm going to do with it. And I will tell you, the people like, for example, and I love my brother dearly, but he is one that the shiznick breaks loose. He would be at the front door saying, I know y'all got a lot of food. I know you got this. I know you got that. You need to help me now. And see, that's really important for us to put that in perspective, because when the time comes, there's going to be some really bad guys or girls that come to your door and say, "Well, I remember seeing this. I remember you doing this, and now I want some." And will I give? Yes, that's part of the reason that we prep as hard as we do. That's the reason, I want to help people, but I also, it's not a free ride. It's not a free ride. If you're going to get something from our homestead, from our little cabin out here in the Ozarks, it's going to be a give and take. You're going to chop wood, or you're going to haul water, or you're going to tend to animals, or you're going to do something. I'm not just going to hand it over and say, "Here, it's a free for all." I'm not going to do that. Um, at one time, I said I would never. I would just keep all of our stuff and protect it. But I also have come to a conclusion that you can turn away people, but if they know you have it, they're going to bring more people. And if it's only two or four or five of you, pretty soon you're going to have an army at your front door of looters, of pissed off people that want your things. And then you're going to have to take on a mass of people. If, say, a man, woman, and two kids show up at our front door, is it better to turn them away when they know that we're sitting here okay, or to let them pitch a tent, go in a building, outbuilding, whatever, not in my main dwelling because you still don't know who you're dealing with, and to put them to work and to bring them in as part of your mag, even though you don't know them? See, there's going to be huge trust factors when it comes to a mag. And a lot of people say, "Well, I have my mag and that's all I'm going to have." Trust and believe other people are going to step into your mag that you're not expecting, right? Mo- yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of people, she's a wildflower, they know and they see it, but they don't. If they can keep the blinders on and keep living in a fantasy world that everything's okay, then they don't have to deal with it, and so they don't have to go, "Oh well, this could happen, that could happen." They say that the statistics say that most um, people in the United States only have a couple days of food. That's it. That's it. So, you got to realize that too. And I think we have to look at prepping as in different scenarios, which is I think is really helpful. Like if you look at different scenarios and go, "Okay, well if this comes, then I have to do this," and have more than one plan intact. You might want to have two or three. Just saying. Just like this morning, it was 2:30 a.m. and alarm one went off. And I was up out of the bed and dressed very quickly, watching to see what was going on. I actually ran to the window and then I got dressed afterwards and I couldn't go back to sleep because you all know what we're going through right now. We don't know what's going on. We're just taking steps. I honestly think that our next step, and I hate to do it, I hate to freaking do it, but I think that we're going to make a perimeter fence around our main 1 acre, uh, and have a couple little escape holes so the cats can come in and out. The only thing I hate is that means that the deer are not going to be able to come up here on the property. And I love watching the deer like right here. Like I can sometimes step out the back door and almost touch them. I hope that each and every one of you has taken something from this live stream today. I hope that we have another one tomorrow morning. Watch the channel. I'm going to try to get all the live streams posted for the next 2 to 3 weeks. And I've been really strictly strict on myself. I've been really strict on myself about keeping to the live streams. So I try not to post too many at one time, but at OTWP report, if some of the mods would drop that, that would be great. Um, I'm really sticking to that schedule, and I will be posting those lives today, and I'll be posting for the next couple weeks. We're going to have late night preppers club, which will be the new in the midnight hour. So we are going to talk about conspiracies, which I love talking about conspiracies, and I know y'all too do too. So we're going to have conspiracy night, but it will be the late night preppers club. It'll just be a kickback hour to 2 hours of us going down rabbit holes. And remember, when I do those shows, it will always say that it's a conspiracy to appease the people that are watching. They're watching us. So, you know, I really hope that each person took something from this today. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. And I really appreciate all your super chats, all your memberships, all the things that you all folks do. Um, we got some really hold on a minute. I'm gonna get one other thing. I want to give some shout outs real quick to some people, and this was really nice. SBLL, thank you very much for the card and the gift. Excuse me. Okay. And Dragonfly's got some stuff for her birthday, but we got a nice little box in the mail, right? And this is from. Is this from Southern Mercy? I think this is from Southern Mercy. So I wanted to show it, and I say thank you, but I want to show it. So I would believe this is a very vintage, old, antique Is it called a doily? Doily. So that's going on my desk, Southern Mercy. Maybe you made it. If you made it, I would love to know because I always have liked these. My grandma used to do them, and they're very intricate the way people make them. So that's one thing. Oh, and dragonflies. You gotta have it in front of my face. And dragonflies, Southern Mercy sent dragonflies a really beautiful ring. It's kind of a purplish colored heart. Southern Mercy also sent us a cute new little Christmas uh, towel. This just came in though. I want to say she also, I believe, Southern Mercy is a family. This is stunning. This is dragonflies, of course. Y'all see it? Can y'all see it? That's here. I'm going to take this down so you can see it better. I like to give shout outs and thank yous. So this is a really pretty bracelet. Thank you, Southern Mercy. Dragonflies loves it. She put it on, and I was like, wow, that's stunning. Um, Also, Southern Mercy, thank you very much. Can y'all see this? This is a 1 ounce Liberty vintage silver coin that they sent us. Thank you very much. This is going in with my silver and it's going to be saved. Thank you so much. She also sent those to Dragonflies, these two bracelets, and she sent a little Asian bag. And hold on, that's not it. And then in this box is a gorgeous dragonfly. Can you all see that? It's a very, very pretty. Oh, I have it upside down. A very pretty dragonfly watch. Stunning. And it's not it. And also for me, she sent a Western type watch. Thank you. These are brand new. They're beautiful, beautiful watches. Beautiful. Oh, a little pillow. Hold on. Yeah, yeah. I'm a dork. Wouldn't you like to be a dork too? Oh, there's one other thing. What is this? Oh, is this what the ring was in? This is so. This is a little itty bit. So that's from Southern Mercy. Thank you very much. And then, you don't want me to do this one? Is only the thing in there? Is just Dragonflies is doing a mail opening for her birthday too. This is from Miss Sherry Miller, and this is really cool though. Y'all see it? Look at the detail of it. Look at that. I looked it up, and thank you so much. That is really, really cool. And you can see the stamp on the back that it is 1 ounce, 1 troy ounce of silver. Thank you very much. That is an awesome, awesome gift. Thank you, SBLL, for the card. A little pillow for a little Tam Tam. No. Um, and she's gonna do a birthday card opening around the 26th, for her birthday. I want to say, thank you. Like, it always makes my day. We go to town. Oh, hold on. There's a nice note in here. Hold on. I want to read this nice card. Sometimes I read them, sometimes I don't. This is from her family. Hey, you two. I hope you get some use of these things. I hope you get some use out of these things. The watches are new, but they do need batteries. I think you can figure everything else out. Have a blessed day and God bless you. 2247. Much love. Southern Mercy and family. 2247. You got it, baby. Thank you so much. And thank you, SBLL, so much for the card. I have it here somewhere. Oh, SBLL. And I got another card here. Hold on a minute. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Um, we got a congratulations card on our engagement. Thank you, SBLL, and thank you for the gift. Congratulations to you both. Sorry for the card being late. It's not late. It's not late. And then our very own Huga Huga. Uh, I love it. Huga sends us cards. Um, and this is congratulations to you two on your engagement and happy Valentine's Day. Huga Huga, and Huga sent me one of her. I got to start a sticker board. Thank you, Huga, and thank you because I have a lot of heart cards from you. So I know love is in the air. We, I really appreciate the gifts, the cards. I have one. I think it was from Carol when she went to Hawaii. I still have that up on the refrigerator. When you all think about us and even the cards and the postcards and the notes and the letters like Victorious Muscle, a lot of people don't see him on here anymore, but he's watching and he writes me letters and these things they really matter and I can't say thank you enough to each and every one of you um, for all you do. Um, yeah, the 2247. Sometimes like y'all don't realize like, especially when I'm under the attack zone by somebody and y'all don't even know because I don't really complain about it anymore. It used to get to me and I used to go off, but I don't really let it get to me anymore because it's like obviously they're sad. Obviously they have an issue. And I think that where was I going with this? I guess the letters and the cards and the little gifts and the little thank yous, they really mean a lot because some days I'm like, screw you too. I'm like between the strikes for speaking what I want to speak and the bullshit and the kick down I take behind the scene, I'm like, screw YouTube, I'm out of here, and I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave. I like really care about all of you, and I care about the OTWP mag, and it is. Yes, you can. Yes, Miss Needle, UPS, USPS, FedEx. They all get here. We've been getting stuff from overseas too, which is cool. Yeah. Well, I'm glad it's your home away from home. Now, Rick, we said that we were making you a little shack down there on the back 5 acres. You have a little one bedroom. It'll just be one room shack. No power, no water, no toilet. I want the stay to be very short. I hope that y'all. Yeah, there's the address right there. If you ever feel like dropping in and saying, "Well, here OTWP, I'm sending you a little something." Lady Casket, now I would let you use the indoor restroom in the shower. No, you could go to the outhouse too. It'd be good prepping skills for you. Anyway, y'all, I'm gonna get off here. I got a bunch of stuff to do today, and I'm kind of playing hooky this week from work because we have a relaxed schedule. So, I'm doing what I want to do this week and today, right now. I just want to spend time with dragonflies, and I got to go out and all the packages, Lady Casca, your package, you should be getting it in the next few days. What's that? Dragonflies. You'll dig your own. You'll dig your own poop hole. Well, what'd you say? What dragonfly say? For some reason, my computer chat will not go up. Yeah, I seen the address. What else? What else? I don't see it. Dragonflies. I see. I don't know. Oh, Rick. Um, I still am not seeing it. Oh, not OTWP. What? Oh my goodness. Okay. Dragonflies is something. Oh, because you're a dork. She's something. I sometimes I don't like it when she gets up early. I would rather her sleep. But anyway, see, morning time is my time to have live streams with y'all while she's sleeping. And but did you see Dragonfly's goofy short? Oh my goodness. Her short of watching the dryer go round, 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 baby, round, round. I wouldn't doubt Preppy is hogging the outhouse. No, I'm turning that. We're turning that into a two seater. And then there's also on the. I'm going to give you the details on the one wall. There's a hole. There's a hole that you can. Yeah. So there's a hole that you can pee out of. You can just stand up to the wall and pee out the hole. Out the outhouse. It's a special. I I did that like the guy in Kabul. y'all, y'all, there is some guy at the gas station. He just got arrested. So I was joking. So he just got arrested. He somehow made holes in the wall so he could be a peeping tom on people while they're on the toilet. Like what kind of what is wrong with you? What is so I really don't want to watch people take a do. I really don't. That's like ridiculous. Miss Neely, you better watch it. All right, y'all. I'm gonna take it on out with one song. Big huge prepper hugs, and as Tam Tam says, two by four. Dragonfly said I'm violent for saying that now, but I think a lot of people do need a two by four. Maybe a good weeping willow stick right across your ass. What? Tamara's mad at me. What are you mad about, Tamara? What did I do to you? I didn't do Oh, sheesh. Oh, well. Oh, Tam Tam, you man hater. I mean, man eater. Everybody, have a great day. Till I see you again, my friends, probably sometime later today at OTWP Report. God bless you from here in the Ozarks to wherever you're at. Make it happen. Get your comms in order. Get some ways to communicate. And it's not a matter of when, it's a matter of it's going to happen. And it's going to happen. So it's just a matter of time, and I think the time is near. I think 2024 is going to escalate to the point that we're all going to be like, shit, and I don't have this, and I don't have that. Uh, get the basics. Do the things that you need to do. God bless you from here in the Ozarks to wherever you're at. Make it count, y'all. Make it count. Do the dang thing.